It's not recording. All right, there we go. It's recording now. Let me check this real quick. No, all right, great. Yeah, okay, let me share the screen now and let's get started on our review. Let's go. Okay. Let's sign in first. Here we go. So we had 37 questions, quite a bit. All right, we ready to go? We're gonna do this the exact same way we always do. So just you go ahead and use your ID numbers, and the top 5 will get extra credit. So I hope you guys studied. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and run it, and you guys can go ahead and sign in. Okay, so does this mean we basically have everybody? Okay. Good job, guys. Very nice. All right. Good job, everybody. Okay, so yeah, when you are determining which type of positions in your organization that are you're going to have to go all out for and have an entire succession plan, you're only going to do that for those positions that are critical to operations, where imagine if those positions didn't have someone working and filling that position in your organization, the organization would pretty much fall apart. Okay, and then there are certain positions in an organization, or actually there are many positions in an organization, especially large ones, where if they're vacant, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so those that are important or critical to operations would be those type of positions like executive manager level positions, a CEO, things like that. Okay, so they cannot be vacant, they run the organization. Okay, whereas if you're like, the cashier or something, it's probably not a big deal if that spot is vacant. If you decide to quit that morning and that spot's vacant for the rest of the day, it's probably, they'll just fill that position when they're able to find someone else to fill that position. And they'll probably happen really quickly, and training would be really easy for that position, as opposed to a position that is much more critical to operations. Okay, for a position, the reason why a lot of these positions that are very critical to operations need succession planning is because it takes a lot of time to train and prepare someone to even take on that position, to fulfill that job. Okay, it can't just be like a 2-week training session to be a CEO of a huge company. Okay, it's going to be more of like you're going to groom the higher level employees that you actually have, and you're going to have a couple potential ones that can take that job if it is going to become vacant. But they also have to work directly with your CEO or whoever, whichever position that you're talking about, so that they really know exactly what they do and they know the ins and outs of it. And if they have to take over, they can take over, or they can start the takeover process. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I know I went on a little too long about that, but there you go. Yay, good job. Okay. The reason why it's not cross-training is because look at the question was asking for off the job. So cross-training is always going to be on the job, since you're going to, you do cross-training really when you're clocked in and you learn someone else's skills for that company. But simulations are usually done off the job, because you're going to go to a whole different facility maybe, and they're going to simulate some sort of work situation that you have to work through. So,
Professor?
very good. All right. Very nice. Good job, guys. Okay, so thinking back on the that one lecture video that I made, the one type of rating scale that has a lot more detail, okay, is going to be the behaviorally anchored rating scale, okay, because this thing has categories in one section of, like, you know, the different of the competencies that you're trying to rate your employees on, and then it's going to have like in the next section it'll have the different different skills or reasons, things that you need to judge them on, and then in the next section it'll have the scale, like 1 to 5, and with each each rating or each score that you can give to that employee, it will have like an explanation, a detailed explanation. So like if you're going to give someone a 1, it's because they did such this, and this. So if they do that, they get a 1. And 2 will next to it have, this employee has done this, and this. So the scores are already like standard. Okay, and they're detailed standards. So this way, if you score someone, if you give employees like a, whatever scores that you give them for certain categories, it's hard to really argue back or get really defensive about your scores, since the scores show the actual details of what you did. Okay, or like the reason why you got that score is because it has a detailed response. So it's not really, it reduces a lot of the subjectivity of the manager, okay, when they're scoring the employees. And it also kind of reduces a lot of the defensiveness of the employees, when they get their scores, and if they don't like the score, they could get mad. In this situation, when you use a behaviorally anchored rating scale, it's hard to really get mad, especially when you can reflect on what you have done for this company and, in these certain categories, and you can be like, well, I guess, okay, yes, I did that and that, so I guess I deserve it too. So that's not saying that there isn't going to be any kind of bias or error, but it kind of reduces it a bit compared to the other different rating scales that companies use when they do their performance appraisals and all that. So that is why this is the one that would reduce more of the employee defensiveness. Good job. Okay, so subordinate appraisal, this is where you are going to give your managers an appraisal, right? So you rank them. Now, this doesn't determine whether or not they're going to get a raise, or this doesn't mean whether they're doing a bad job and they're going to get fired or anything like that. What this does is it really shows the manager how they're doing and also what they need to work on. Okay, so that would be your subordinate appraisal. You're appraising your subordinates. Very good, John. Very good. All right. Very good. Nice. Very good. Nice. You guys are doing really well. All right. Yeah, so do we know the difference between a mandatory and voluntary benefit? So really there are only 4 mandatory benefits. But really a mandatory benefit is that one that the federal government requires. Okay, all businesses have to do this. Anyone that has payroll going, they have to give this to their employees. Okay, so there are only 4 of them, but they're standard across the whole country. All of the businesses have to do it. Okay, so unemployment is one of them. Okay, then there's workers' comp, there's Social Security, and there's Medicare. Okay, and then all of the other benefits are voluntary. Okay, so sick leave, although you're required to have like a certain amount of paid or unpaid sick leave, or there's like a minimum requirement, every business is really going to be a little bit different. So some businesses, especially large businesses, are probably going to have, they're going to do their own thing. They're going to fulfill whatever the minimum is, but they're going to do their, have their own rules or their own policies. They may offer a lot more sick leave than whatever the requirement is and all of that. So sick leave and things like that, even health insurance, even though it may be required for a specific business, it's not going to be considered a mandatory benefit because it's going to be different. Like they're all going to be different since you have to provide health insurance and it's not going to be a government sponsored health insurance. It's going to be private. So you're going to go out shopping for which plan you want to offer your employees. Okay. You're going to go looking around at the different agencies, the different managed care organizations and figure out what's best for your business. Okay. So they're all going to be kind of different. That's why those are the differences. Okay. All right. Very good. Very nice. Wow. Very good. Okay, same thing. What's considered a voluntary benefit versus mandatory? Both of these right here, the workers' comp and unemployment, like I said a couple minutes ago, those are mandatory benefits. Both of those would be mandatory. The government requires that every business has them. Okay, that's given to all the employees. If you get a payroll check, that is a mandatory benefit. Long-term care insurance is it's not required. It's not a mandatory benefit. It's not going to be the same even if they did require that every business has it or has some minimum form of long-term care insurance. It wouldn't even be the same across the board because it's going to be considered like health insurance. Okay, everyone's going to have something different. So that is definitely going to be a voluntary benefit. Okay, that was the end. So now I guess we'll see our top 5 right here. Okay, there you go. Top 5. Oh yeah. Okay, so do we have any more questions about the material, the quiz, anything like that? So we all kind of have a good understanding of what to expect. The usual. This is all it is. There's really no updates. It's really just going to be the usual stuff. I guess you guys are good to go. The quiz should be up, but if it's not up, just in case, let me know if it isn't so I can fix that and you can start taking the quiz. I will, as usual, convert this to a video and get that out to you guys as well. So you guys should have that soon within the next, I don't know, few hours. So other than that, good luck on your quizzes and the rest of your work. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day. All right, bye-bye.